Hello all, welcome to Mauritius, and I am here, in case you don't know, I'm here in Mauritius and I am a UK citizen, and I have with me from the UK my Scout, which I carried over here in my aluminium case, which you can see a video of. And so basically this video is a sort of a brief summary of how you get, hopefully, through security at Heathrow Airport and through Mauritius, well, if you ever come to Mauritius with your drone, how the procedure works. So first things first, the main thing to consider for me was the batteries itself. Now, I put my battery in a LIPO bag. In fact, I put this battery in a LIPO bag and the one from my transmitter. Put them in a LIPO bag, and you're meant to carry those on you. And your Scout goes in the hold of the aircraft, so you kiss goodbye when you check in to that, but you're meant to carry these with you. So they go in the LIPO bag, they went in my hand luggage, and we got to security. Security pulled me to the side, showed me the picture, and showed me what looked to be like a rectangular, well, the x-ray was a rectangular piece with lots of wires. As you can imagine, they had me to the side and asked me what it was, and asked me to open up my suitcase. And drones are still quite popular, and sure enough, you had to try and explain to them that, in other words, it was a model aircraft and you were carrying these batteries on. Of course, you don't really want to say, oh, and I'm carrying them because they could catch fire, because, you know, they might get funny. But anyway, Emirates wanted to know what was in my aluminium case, and I explained. They were happy, and that went in as fragile. So that was separated. It didn't go down the conveyor belt. It was separated out from all the rest of my luggage, and that went in as fragile. These batteries went into my hand luggage. Now, what I've learned is when you get to security, take out your LIPO bag with your batteries and separate that from your luggage. So when it goes to the x-ray and it's in the separate bag, and the bag should hopefully say LIPO guard or LIPO battery or something like that. That way, they then don't get suspicious about what's in your hand luggage. They can pretty much already see that it's a battery. So, London Heathrow, once explained to them that it was a battery, they'd seen I taped off the ends. They wanted to know who I was flying with, and they swabbed my bag, my hand luggage. They swabbed pretty much everything. That was all clean. Everyone was happy, and I was free to go. I came via Dubai, did the same, took out my LIPO bag, separated it from my hand luggage, went through security, because you're still in transit, they still want to go through security, and didn't bat an eyelid to it, just went straight through, didn't pull me to the side, didn't question what was in the bag, the LIPO bag, went straight through. And got to Mauritius, and they don't check your luggage full stop, so there was no worries there. Right, so I'm back in England. Just arrived back this morning, and I can say it was one of the worst journeys I've had. And the reason for that is because The video that you've just started seeing was me bigging up about how easy it was to get a LIPO through the airport and through Dubai, London, Mauritius. All of a sudden, it's a massive problem to get it back into the UK. And as you can see from the envelope here, it's an Emirates security removed items from the checked baggage. How do I put this? You will see a lot of people talk about keeping their LIPOs with them for security, and that is what's recommended because it's with you. You've always got your eye on it to some extent, and if it starts to smoke or whatever, you know, it's with you. You can sort it out. So I left Mauritius with this in my hand luggage, no issues, goes through security, fine. I get to Dubai, and whilst I'm in transit, they want to scan your luggage. I take my LIPO bag and my batteries out, go through the x-ray, I get pulled to the side by security. They immediately remove the batteries and tell me that I'm not having them and I will no longer be further travelling with the LIPO batteries and that they should not be with me in my hand luggage. I complained and it said to them that I'd managed to get through Dubai 2 weeks before with no problems, and they basically said, for want of a better words, the person who was on that day going through the x-ray should have known better. I explained to them that it was a very expensive battery and I wasn't willing to just let it go, and there's some other way we could deal with this one. 3 hours I was with security. At one point they were they spoke about me going into a room with the police, not because of my attitude or anything, but because I wanted to carry these batteries with me. And they did not wish to really discuss the matter with me. They were quite happy to take it away from me and not go any further. I told them how expensive it was. They weren't budging. So, how have I got them with me now? It's a shambles. It's a shambles. Dubai Airport do not like you having the 6-cell battery with you, and they will take it off you. Heathrow and Mauritius airports clearly do not have an issue, hence why, as far as I was concerned, there was nothing really wrong with it. So I had to be, eventually, having told them and pleaded with them that I was not willing to give this up, they decided that they would have the batteries removed from my luggage. I was no longer allowed to touch them, and they would be placed in this envelope, and myself would be escorted to the gate with these batteries, whilst a Emirates Airline representative would hold them. I'd be escorted to the gate, and I would be present when the batteries were handed over to a member of staff on the plane. And that is the only way. They would not allow me to disappear off. I had to remain with these batteries at all times. They wouldn't allow me to touch it. And their way of making it secure would be to put it in this lovely envelope here. I was told that when the plane landed in London, I'd be handed this envelope by the cabin crew, and subsequently when I did land, no cabin crew knew anything about it whatsoever, and another further hour and a half at Heathrow Airport trying to speak to some baggage people, and it turns out that all they did was throw this in the hold of the aircraft, hence why it looks a bit battered. Lovely and secure, as you can imagine. Terrible service by Dubai Security and Emirates Airline. No one knew what they were doing, and quite honestly, this was going in the hold in a piece of paper like this. This could have easily been torn apart in the hold and just thrown about in the belly of the aircraft. Not happy whatsoever. I'm not happy by the way that I was treated, and how, you know, that it seems okay for some airports and not for others. How, you know, fellow drone flyers, whether it be in the US or flying to other countries, have absolutely no issues with taking these on board, yet I get pulled to the side and they try to remove it. Like liquids, they try and remove it from you and tell you that you're not having it, despite it being a very expensive piece of equipment. Good job I fought it, because otherwise they would have just taken it from me and I would have gone on with my journey. So it's really a plea. If you're going to take your drone out of the country, you need to speak to the airport, not the airline necessarily. It's the airport security who will determine whether or not you're allowed a LIPO in your hand luggage or not, because they're the people at the airport who will go through your luggage. And in this case, Heathrow were fine, London Heathrow were fine, Mauritius were fine, Dubai, in the end, were not happy with it. So what it's worth noting is they were not happy with the size, said it was too big and dangerous, but this was fine. They would be happy with these, but not happy with this. So really, if you do want to take it out and about with you, please think carefully before you decide you want to do it. That is my advice to you. And contact the airport as best you can to establish what their exact policies are on this, because sometimes, as I say, you can get through, and other times it will appear that you can't. And I lost a lot of hours and potentially having to deal with the police because due to incompetence. So that's one of my videos from my lovely trip to Mauritius. There'll be some more to come in the next week or so. So I'll catch up with you again soon. Take care, and please subscribe for plenty more. Want to hear all your comments. If I don't get around to answering them all, I do apologise. At the moment, I've got a bit of a backlog that I'm trying to clear, having been away. So yeah, I will catch up with you guys and girls very soon.